Hello everybody, today I have the pleasure to propose to you this key 78 entitled Matrix, Different Reality or Different Realities. Well, this is the 60th video and chapter. Today they are all independent, but today we're gonna talk about the functioning of reality and also how to influence our reality. Well, first of all, I would like to focus on one point. What does happen concretely when you understand something? When you understand something concretely in your brain, actually there are two neurons for which there is a connection. Okay, so this is what you call synapse. Okay, so your neurons are already present, and this is only let's say a biologic connection, like electricity, made between both. So what does it mean? It means that the potential breakthrough discovery that we will have in 2030, for example, the scientists already have the neuron within, but the connection is not done yet. Okay, then once he discovered this point, this new thing, actually when he explained to other people, it's the same principle. They activate this connection. So the brain basically is too small to contain memory. So it wouldn't be a storage organ, but a link between the database, link with the database of the genetic field in which the past, the present, and the future are mixed. Okay, so this field could be linked to an external reader. Okay, it's a little bit like a Dropbox. You know, a Dropbox, for those who know, I have two different Dropbox because I have two companies, and of course there are so many folders that they are heavy and I cannot contain on my own computer. In addition of that is a platform for which we can exchange information with my different employees. It's the same principle. So when I have access to this information, they are not located on my computer because there is not space capacity enough, but they are on a server, external. It's the same principle for, let's say, our memory and our consciousness. So the brain is like a radio, as we say, okay? So it's the function of the brain according to different waves, okay? When you're awake, when you are meditating, when you are sleeping, and so on and so forth. So theta, let's say, waves are for meditation and intuition, alpha for relaxation and visualization, beta for concentration, gamma for expansion of consciousness, and so on and so forth. It's like a radio. FM is music, maybe W medium waves is, for example, news, and LW would be, for instance, for let's say sport. Okay, so the brain sends and receives information, okay, in emission and in reception, okay, but and it's like a computer. When you have access to a website, for example, on your computer, let's say the website is not within your computer, is not a software, okay? You have an access, a link to this information that, in quote mark, you download on your computer, and your computer is just basically an interface with this information. Well, the principle, this is very important, of the way of perceiving and seeing with your eyes is the following. The images transmit photons, okay, particle of light, okay, through the lens where they are refracted to cross the retina on the back on your eyes. Then the rays are transformed into electrical signals and then transmitted to neurons at the back of your brain. All right. So, but very important, the brain is close to light. There is only darkness within your brain. Secondly, all the senses are just electrical signals. All what you see, the world is just a sum of electrical signals in your brain. This is neuroscience. It's not Matrix, the movie. This is science. So when I ask you at the first video, when you see a tree, a bird, and so on, where is the bird and the tree? The tree is in your brain. Let's say the electrical signal reshaping the hologram of the tree. Okay. So I ask you the question: why can't we see double? Despite the fact we have two eyes? It's simple. It's just the superposition, actually. The fact to have a difference like this, it makes the notion of relief. If you close one eye, you only have 2D, 2 dimension. So it's just to have the notion of perspective. That's the point. Very important. The space between things is artificial, is virtual, is not real. Okay? Einstein, the great scientist, said the following: objects are not in the space. They are an extension of space. Okay, I repeat again. Objects are not in space. They are an extension of space. Keep in mind. So when you look at the stars, they are in your brain. Okay, the distance is just an illusion. When you close your eyes, you can see the darkness, 1 centimeter, 10 centimeters, 1 meter, 100 meter, 1 kilometer, and so on. This is within you. Okay, so all the distance that you can see, even 1 kilometer and so on, is within you. All this is within you. When you watch this video on your computer, on your mobile phone, and so on, in your room, this is the room and the computer which are within you, inside you. Very important. When you look at your body, you feel like you are inside it. But remember, it's an image of your body created in your brain. Politzer said the following: since all of this exists only in the mind, it means that we are deluded by illusions when we imagine that the universe and things exist outside our mind. You know, if you do an experience, our brain in a jar, okay, sensory, with sensory stimulation with a computer or electrodes, okay, with stimuli from an image or a bird singing, for example. This is the same principle of reality. Actually, even if you are putting your brain, let's say, I know it's not possible, but you put out your brain, okay, and you observe it, you touch it, and so on, okay, the perception will be inside of this organ. So you will see like detach, okay, the object. So what if the object, the observer, and the observation are just one, single one, okay, not alone, all one, all right? Well, actually, it's the same in a dream. Our illusion of reality is a dream within a big dream from which we wake up when we passed away. In the movie Inception, it's quite well evoked, to be honest with you. The perception are only highlights the soul, okay? Revelations and realization. The consciousness this is when the consciousness, with a small c, the consciousness is aware of the consciousness with a capital letter. I invite you to watch the second video of the key 77. If you turn off your radio on the TV set, the program is still going on, okay? It's independent on your computer and so on. It's the same for consciousness, memories, and so on. The information. Consciousness would be, you know that the reality is made of 4% of physical, let's say, visible and tangible in quote mark matter, okay? 27% of dark matter, invisible, and 69% of dark energy. So let's say what you see currently is, let's say, the physical, let's say, matter. The 27% of the dark matter would be, okay, possibly, let's say, would be the storage of the past. okay? And 69% would be the dark energy, would be the potential, okay? The contingencies and or the parallel world and so on and so forth. Well, Max Planck, okay, one of the father of the quantum mechanics, say the following: all matters come from a force and only exist through it. We must assume the existence under this force of a conscious and intelligent spirit. This spirit is the matrix of all matter. Well, if I had to summarize, the very important points regarding reality is first the theory of relativity, okay? I know that the theory of relativity is the following. It's the fact that describing the relationship between time and space, matter and energy. It states that the speed of light is constant in all inertial frames, and all gravity is deformation of space-time. But I would like to say that everything depends on your angle of vision, of your point of view. This is what we try to see since the beginning of this series of videos. Okay, so everything is relative, everything is subjective. Okay, like the Rubik's Cube, I show you the face, it's red and mine is blue and so on. Okay, can we have a battle, a discussion with that? It's like this. Okay, so everything is relative first. Secondly, everything is energy, and at the end, energy is information. Everything is information. Okay, when you see the experience of Masaru Emoto with the intention positively, okay, I love you, and then you see crystallization of beautiful patterns. On the other way around, when you say I hate you and so on, I kill you, it's completely disharmonious. Okay, we are made of 70% of water, and there is water everywhere. Okay, in an invisible way. Okay, so everything is energy. So according to your level, your frequencies, you orientate your life. Raising your vibration is one of the most important things to do. Okay, co-creation means that your thought and your emotion shape your reality. Okay, with the notion of law of attraction that we're gonna see in a few minutes, knowing that we evoke that, especially with a lot of tips, advice, and so on, how to manage it in the key 36. Okay. Then the visualization, okay, the fact, for example, you are completely in it, and you visualize, for example, a record, a sports record, and you are doing yeah like this, and you feel it like if it were true. Okay, this is visualization, and the more you do, the better it is. Epigenetics. Epigenetic means the fact that your mindset impacts the DNA. The DNA impacts your whole body, let's say health, and your subtle bodies. Okay, so that's why it's so important. When you have positive mindset, you have more chance to be radiating and also to be healthy. On the other way around, in the somatization, if you are always upset and so on, you will develop probably disease and so on. Disease which is not at ease, right? So it's disharmonious. Okay, it does make sense. Well, neuroplasticity, what is it? It is also very important, is when, for example, you are in a park, okay, and people are always walking on the grass at the same place. They will create a path. It's the same in your mind, okay? If you're always using the same path, it becomes a second nature. So if you are always blaming, what the fuck, are you stupid and so on, always negative, actually, it's like a routine, and you are in a loop after that. Okay, so then another very important point for shaping the reality is the knowledge of quantum physics. Quantum physics is for a very small scale, but to make it short, concretely, it is the principle that because the consciousness, we don't know the size of a consciousness. Okay, south, we don't know the size of it. Anyway, so it's just the fact that everything is energy, all right, but it is either, okay, a sphere, kind of like a wave of potentialities, okay, so kind of, we can visualize like differently, like a sphere of different dots, okay, the all dots would be like a sphere or bubble, okay. This is only contingencies, probabilities, and once you observe this field of probabilities, this wave of probability, there is a collapse, okay, to a particle. Either you let it be like this with all the potential, either as observer you impact the fruit of your observation, that's to say the object, and you fix it, you influence it, and there is only a particle. Okay, I invite you to check the experiments of the Young's slit that you can find on the internet. It's the same principle. If we observe, if you measure something, you impact it. Okay, so it is also important to know this for the notion of co-creation. If you're skeptical of this law of attraction, you will be satisfied in your skepticism. Okay, it's the same principle. The quantum entanglement, what it is, the French scientist Aspect had the Prime Nobel of Physics last year, 2022, regarding that. Concretely, once two particles has been linked, once in their life, concretely, they are always connected. It means that if they are evolving a distance, a very large distance, for example, this is not the light bringing the information to that with the light speed. This is at the same time, okay? If there is a change of the state for this particle, immediately it is doing at the same time. Knowing that everything has been contracted at the point of singularity at the beginning of the Big Bang, it means that we are all connected potentially. You contain the universe. This is holographic universe. Energetically speaking, we are all linked all together, and the space between the objects are just an expansion of this. Okay, the objects are not in the space. Okay, the objects are just an expansion of the space. Okay, this is what Einstein say and what I mentioned just before. So actually the analysis, once again I insist with different rephrasing, the analysis, the intention, the object used and so on impact the results. This is important. To measure is to disturb or to influence at least. Okay, the participant and the object, the observer and the observation are just a block. Okay, the thoughts forms feed the egregores. So we did a key special for that. Okay, so I invite you to watch it if you want. It was the key 74, something like this, 4 video for egregores. What is it concretely? I emit some ideas, some thoughts, emotions, energies. Okay, it's like droplets, and I bring a droplet and he's thinking the same than me and she's thinking the same and so on. Okay, condensation, and then the old droplets are making a cloud, and the cloud is relayed by a lot of people. Okay, and then the cloud is so big that there is such a condensation that then it becomes water, like raining on the floor, on the earth, on the ground, and people are touched by that. So either they reject, either they accept. Okay, so they highlight, they emphasize this egregore. Okay, so the egregores, you feed them, and by return they feed you back. Okay, like a loop. Okay, for the best and for the worst also. So that's why also this is important. If you believe, if you have positive mindset for future and so on, you will feed this egregore, helping other people to adhere to that. And on the other way around, if you are always in the darkness, you will contribute to that. But in the multiverse, it was the previous series, everything exists and all ready to exist. So it means that you have an infinite number of little you everywhere in the different universe, for which it depends only on your mindset. As Einstein say, match nothing is, there is no matter, there is only energy, and he said that match the frequency of the reality that you want, and you cannot stop getting it. This is not philosophy, it is science. So to make it short, vibrate in a certain way, visualize something positive, and you cannot stop getting it. You will have it. You have it. Okay. On the other way around, you are scared and so on. Same. Okay, so that's why we still have a free will according to our mind. The information is included in each of the particles of the universe, and it is present. The information included in each particles of the universe is present in a holographic way. okay, in all others. They are all connected thanks to the field, okay, and also black holes, okay. But what does it mean? It means that it's like the example of the, you know, your DNA. Your DNA, I mean, sorry, each gene, okay, contain all your genetic pattern, the entire. If you just take a tiny piece of it, you will have the whole information of your genetic, let's say, heritage. Okay, so it's the same principle. So that's why in Hermetism, in mysticism, you have as above, so below, as below, so above. It's the same principle. It's the same principle when Rumi, the great Sufi, said, you are not a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean within a drop. It's the same principle. It's the same principle than in Hinduism, in the mysticism, when we are talking about the Indra's necklace, okay? Concretely, it's like, I always use the same image, when you have a spider net, okay, early morning, and there is still, it's still wet, and there are like a droplets on the net, on the spider net, okay? So each droplet reflects, okay, reflects the entire pattern of the spider net, okay? It's the same principle. Everything contains everything. You are containing the universe. YOUniverse. YOUniverse. Unity. When you access to this unity that we have within. Also the same principle of the butterfly effect. Okay, a butterfly in Asia can, in East, can create a tornado in West. Okay, so I insist again. I repeat myself. The space between things are is artificial. Einstein say the space, there is no space. There is no space. Sorry, there is no distance in the space. There is only extension of the space. Okay. So Jean-Émile Charron say the following. Is a French scientist. He say, in the universe, every atom is connected to all other atoms through the substance of antimatter. All knowledge is potentially accessible to every atom of the universe. It means that the information is there everywhere. You can access and download it. You cannot see the Wi-Fi, you cannot see, but it's a question of tuning and also to catch them. We leave information in the structure of space. So not space-time, but we should say space memory. Once again, objects are not in space, but the extension of space. Once again, Einstein. So consciousness is not in the brain, but in the field. Okay, we tap into this field. The brain is like an antenna with emission function and reception function. Schrödinger, one of the father also of the quantum mechanics, said the following: the multiplicity we perceive is only an appearance. In truth, there is only one mind, or one spirit, or one consciousness. He says also, no self is alone. We has a long chain of intellectual ancestors. The I am, is linked to ancestry by many factors. It is not a simple allegory, it is eternal memory. Concretely, not alone, all one. This is the same principle. We contain the universe and we have access. That's why also Einstein say, I'm on the shoulders of a giant, because he took back the world heritage. Well, Einstein say, okay, quite long quotes, but this is very beautiful. A human being is a part of a whole that we call universe. A part limited in time and space. He experiences himself, his thoughts, and his emotions as something separate from the rest, a kind of optical illusion of consciousness. This illusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and affection of a few people close to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from the prison by extending our cycle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and all of nature in its beauty. This is so lovely, so poetic, and also so deep. So, some advice. Now, to change your reality. Concretely, some limits first. The limits would be to be unconscious, unconscious sheeps, goats, okay, okay, you follow always, and you are just a spectator and not an actor or co-director of the movie of your life. To be always a victim and not aware of the biases. Okay, we saw the video, the third video, okay, with the different filters that we have. We have personally, according to our education, according to many education, social dimension, history, country, language, and so on so far, and people as well. Okay, so this is important, not to be a slave, I mean to be a victim of it, but to know how does it work. You know, to fall into the different traps, you know, like fake news. Because I told you there are lots of, let's say, trolls. There are also some just some manipulation and so on, some propaganda as well. Okay, so to be aware of that. To be aware of internet functioning, like algorithm, okay, the fact that actually we suggest what you researched before, okay, so you are in a loop in a certain extent, and all what is on internet is not necessarily the truth as well, okay, so this is important to fact checking and so on and so forth. The social media, okay, it's like a knife, okay, it can help to live properly, harmoniously, and also it can kill people. It depends on you using and the user. Actually, to let's say also to decrease your vibration, because you are always let's say blaming and so on, or when you are always judging, criticizing and so on. This is also one of the trap of to change your reality. The fear of failure, okay, you didn't start and you're already afraid it will not work, okay, those were, you know, sometimes proposing things and so on, and no, it will not work and so on, okay, this is actually affecting as well, because you can start something and then to adjust, okay. Resilience process is the fact that we fall down 2000 times before mastering the way of working, okay. All the babies are falling down 2000 times, okay. So it's important. I'm always saying in the coaching and so on that those who never failed are those who never tried anything, okay, or they are just passive and so on. So it's easier not to do any mistake when you don't undertake anything. That's basic, but very important to say again. Okay, so this is you know, the fact to disempowering, okay, it means that you put the faults, the responsibility on other people, your mother, your parents, your society, your education, the school, your neighbors, the minorities and so on, the deep state and so on. It's never your fault, and you will be in harmony when it will be the new era, the new age and so on and so forth. But it doesn't work like this, okay. If you are passive, you will always maintaining this notion of victim all the time. So here are some tips and advice. So of course, as we see in the previous video, okay, the 50th, the diagnosis, individual and collective, to have a good mindset, positive mindset, and a discipline as well. When you learn a language, it's good to do it every day, okay, or almost every 2 days, okay, otherwise you forget, okay. So discipline means, okay, I want that, I give myself, I involve in it, okay, for everything, to rise your vibration. In between the key 20 and 21, you have, I give you 30 tips to be happy, and in between 40 and 41, you have 20 more. In the book Sage Passage Utopia, you have 65 ones as well, okay, to be happy, some tips to be happy. And when you're happy, when you are in harmony, you are vibrating, you are rising your energy. This is the most important thing that we can do in this present life, to honor life, the living, and also to shift okay, to shift individually and collectively. Very important, the full package of hygiene of life, that you say sport, food, and so on. Same in the different keys, from the 21st till 30. It is some tips, concrete tips, how to sleep well, how to do some let's say sport, how to do good food, and so on. All this information, if you apply them, or at least some of them, your life will change radically, and your reality as well. To use empathy, that we will see in the video 8, okay, the non-violent communication, all these techniques to understand the way of communicating, and to not to be victim, but to be active on that. And this is, for me, very, very important. This is the way to make life smoother, more harmonious for everybody. To be in the action and not to be passive, waiting, the galactic, cleaning up, our ass. Okay, this is important. For instance, you know, it's always the metaphor I use. If someone is like a pig at home, you know, a student, and is disgusting, no girls want to come to his flat and so on, and for his birthday, his friends are paying 3 hours of cleaning lady. Okay, she's cleaning everything, but if he doesn't change his way of living, his behavior, his hygiene, 1 month later it will be the same disaster. So if we don't change individually, collectively, it will never happen. This new era will not happen. Otherwise, it would be infantilizing to make us like children. Okay, so then also a roadmap. Okay, in the I don't remember which one, but it is the title is maybe 40 or 50 key 50. It's realization. Okay, how to realize, how to manage project, time management, all these kind of tips that I use for my companies, for my students, for everybody for 20 years almost, and it's working. Okay, like thousands of people, is work, so it's for free, you have them. Okay, but what is it? To have a roadmap. Okay, for example, to have objectives, to have a timeline, to have a deadline, to have some trainings eventually, to have methodology, to have action, adjustment, and so on and so forth. Okay, some people are not organized, it doesn't matter. There are tips, and also some people, they can help you, and it's for free. Okay, so to be in a small association, small project, and so on. Even just gardening, to have your own land, and just to do gardening, it will raise your vibration. You will eat healthy, and so on. It's just that, and you share, I don't know, with your neighbors, and just that is already part of awakening. Awakening is not ET, out of body experience, and so on. It's not like completely so exciting things. It's also down to earth things, small tiny things. When you make let's say the normality extraordinary, that's it. And then also the notion of self suggestion. Okay, QA method, what is it? Is the fact, for instance, to suggest, you say, I'm feeling better and better. And like this, you do it for 21 days, for example, and it changes your meta programs, your subconscious. Okay, also resetting, reprogramming your unconscious. You have self hypnosis technique that I give you in the key 35 and 37. Okay, I give you how does it work. Then there is a guide meditation for which you can just listen. It's 30 minutes, something like this, or 40 minutes. And I give you the template for you to record with just a smartphone. To do it, you change just the word that you want to focus on a pathology or a trauma, whatever. And it's up to you to do it. But then I cannot do more. Okay, then very important is the active visualization, the co-creation. What is it concretely? Is the principle of the movie The Secret, but for me is a little bit money-oriented, okay? How to get the best villa and so on. So anyway, just the principle concretely, this is based on what Buddha said. What you think, you become. What you feel, you attract it. What you imagine, you create it, okay? And in other words, Einstein say, once again, all is energy in that set, match the frequency of the reality that you want. You cannot stop getting it. This is not philosophy, this is science. In the Bible, verse 106, when you make the two one, you will become the Son of Man, and you will say, mountain depart, and he will depart. So the two one actually is you intellectualize, you visualize, okay, in your mind, and also you feel in your heart. You feel it as already there, okay? That's the key. That's the only key, okay? But deeply, you already grateful for the fact it is already arrived, happened. Okay, so what's the most important? The prerequisites: intention, attention, and gratitude. And it's echoing to what Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see in the world. And or the Little Prince, who said, turn your life into a dream and your dream into reality. I say always to my son every night before sleeping. Or this is the principle of what Wheeler, the great scientist, talk about participatory universe. Reality exists thanks to consciousness and observation. That's very important. So, should we say the word of my word? This is a question of perception, but we contain the universe within you, YOUniverse, okay? To find the unity, we have been separated at the beginning. We were part of the great whole, and we incarnate into the matter, okay? To separate, okay, from the great whole, to find it back, the unity, as we have it as a hologram. We contain the whole universe. Well, I hope it will help you to shape the master key of the field of consciousness, of love, or whatever you want. As you know, all the roads lead to Rome and to the Dome and to home. Thank you for your attention, and see you very soon.